ahead. And I want to start off, I know, the Street Profits always have so much energy.
I think every interview that I've done today, this has been a thing.
It definitely has. I love it, though. It amplifies the room for sure. So I want to start off by asking you because the last time that you and I spoke, we were really just talking about, we talked about how you had been working a lot with Vince McMahon. Yep. And one of the changes that we had been seeing since then is now with Triple H running creative. So I do want to ask you, because you are a featured act on Monday Night Raw, we're seeing you each and every single week. What has your experience been working under Triple H with creative, and what are some of the differences that maybe you might have noticed between Vince and Triple H?
I feel like, and I was thinking about this a lot, the trajectory of my start on the main roster, going from knowing not so much to now being in a position where there is a lot of pressure on me and there is a lot on my plate, but learning all of that so quick. I think now where I find myself is being able to adapt with having more creativity with Triple H. I think it's hard for me to say because during, my time with Mr. McMahon and, him in creative position, as I was growing, it's almost like we were trying to develop a character in a mold, and I think now when Triple H came in and we had the briefcase go away, we kind of had something that we could start, creativity on. And I think it kind of starting to let me branch out and have that freedom, with segments and promos and but yeah, I think overall, and looking back at both ways, they both benefited me great. But I think now, especially with Triple H, just having that trust in me and that creativity process being available there for me to stretch, it's great.
Yeah, and I do feel like we definitely have seen a change in your presentation on Monday Night Raw. For you, what would you say has been like the, I don't know if I'm going to say like the most challenging thing, but what do you feel you've gotten really good at in terms of your growth on the main roster and getting used to, really being out there every single week?
I would say, man, it's crazy. You don't ever get used to anything. Everything always changes. There's always something that is a higher achievement or something you can be better at. But I would say promos is something that I've really noticed. Being able to kind of take a promo and rewrite it and dissect it and change it up with a writer and really come up with, just the same kind of message or whatever the story is, but how I would say it so it comes off more authentic. And I think being out there, getting that reaction with the crowd and being able to play with them and have that involvement, it's fun, but it's also having that creativity for sure.
Yeah, having that creativity definitely makes a huge difference. And I do want to ask you, because we just saw Raw 30 that did tremendous. And in your match, we did see the return of Brock Lesnar. So I do want to ask you, how did you feel being backstage at Raw 30, seeing some of the legends come through and just basically celebrating the milestone of, a 30-year history for Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, that's a huge moment, like 30 years. And what's going on with this guy, man? Yeah, the 30th anniversary, though, like me, watching WWE back in 2006 and watching Raw all the way up until now and getting to know that I was a part of, that, getting to watch that and now be the main event of Raw 30, it's mind-blowing.
One more time. So you mentioned being part of the main event at Raw 30, and growing up a fan. I do want to ask you, who are some of the people that you feel really, I guess you can say, turned you into or made you into a fan?
I think a lot of people know this one, John Cena. That's definitely a big inspiration. Jeff Hardy was, Triple H, Randy Orton, Edge, Batista, all those guys, man. It was just like their dynamic and the way they were and the way they interacted with each other and the way they could just set an arena off. That was so thrilling to me as a kid. And I think now having that opportunity and really getting to see all those guys and learn from them and speak with them and kind of, what was your mindset like here? It's crazy.
What's Brock Lesnar like?
He is like somebody that just picks you up and F5s you. Because apparently, I think I figured out the F5. If we take a look back, I've been F5'd a lot.
Yes, you have.
I've taken the craziest F5 off the Elimination Chamber. But think about this. This past Monday, I perfected the F5 with a victory.
There you go. That is
I think
true.
I figured it out. I think I
feel
figured
like
it out.
you're a magnet now for Brock Lesnar. Anytime you're out there, like we can expect some sort of interaction with you and Brock.
Something, and I don't know what it is, but all I know is Monday, I had Bobby Lashley where I wanted him, and then I won. That was it. That was
And
it.
I do want to ask you, we're on the road to WrestleMania now, and I do want to, we're going into the Rumble. For you, how do you feel going into the Rumble, and what are you most looking forward to in regards of being part of this, match type?
I would have to say, the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble. I have my United States Championship, but I'm gonna win the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna go on and headline WrestleMania and be three belt theory. But what am I looking forward to in this Royal Rumble? I have to say, it's got to be who I don't know is in it. Like I keep getting asked, how do you prepare for this match? But you can't, because you don't know how many people are going to be in the ring. You don't know what the times are going to be. You don't know who's going to be in there. And at any moment, if your back's turned, you could be on the floor. So it's a lot of pressure. It really is. But, get me a nice late number and smooth sailing.
My last question for you, I do want to ask you, is what message do you have for the fans in terms of who Austin Theory is and what they can continue to expect throughout the year from you?
Well, Austin Theory is in a position now where if you want to step up to him, you're going to get sent home. Because I've told everybody that I am the now and the forever. And a lot of people, look at this past Monday, a lot of people live in the past. It's great. We celebrate 30 years of Raw. That's great. But, we got all the legends showing up, living their glory days. That's the past. And then the future. I'm done talking about the future because we already know what's going to happen. We know what the future holds because what tells us the future is the now. And that's who I am. And I'm not afraid to bring the aggression. I'm not afraid to let anybody know who I am because most certainly I'm going to put it down, and that is all day.
Alrighty, Austin Theory, everybody.